Hi everyone, today I'm going to compare Android phones and iPhones. In today's comparison we're going to look at the design of Android phones and iPhones, we'll look at some differences in the operating systems, and we'll wrap it up with a look at Android's Google Play Store and Apple's iTunes App Store. So let's go ahead and dig in. So round one is going to be about the design or choice of designs between phones. Now with the iPhone, you have the very newest, the latest, the greatest for Apple. It is the iPhone 5. And still available for sale is the little bit older version, the iPhone 4S. Now don't worry, your eyes aren't playing tricks on you. The iPhone 4S and the iPhone 5 look very similar. You'll notice the iPhone 5 is a little bit taller. It has a 4-inch display versus the 4S's 3.5-inch display. Other than that, they look very similar. They have the same button configuration, the same amount of buttons. You have the home button. All the different volume buttons are the same on the side. And your headphone jack has been moved to the bottom with the iPhone 5, but you have your power and lock button right there. Now, one of the other big differences is the thickness and the weight of the iPhone 5 versus the iPhone 4S. The 4S is 9.3 millimeters thick, where the 5 is only 7.6 millimeters. And the weight of the iPhone 4S is 4.94 ounces versus the iPhone 5's 3.95 ounces. So there absolutely was some engineering going on to make the phone thinner, lighter, and have a larger display. So there are some advancements from the 4S to the 5. Now let's talk about Android phones. Now you have a lot of choices when you're talking Android phones. There are Android phones made for all the 4 big US carriers, Sprint, Verizon, T-Mobile, and AT&T, and every smaller regional carrier that I know of carries Android phones as well. Now as far as manufacturers for the Android phones, you have Samsung, HTC, Motorola, LG, Kyocera, ZTE, Huawei, Casio, Sanyo, and Pantech. So you have 10 major manufacturers that are making Android smartphones right now. So one of the great things about having all those different manufacturers for the different carriers is that you have all kinds of options. So let me show you some of the more popular Android smartphones. First off, we have the Samsung Galaxy Note 2. You notice the Galaxy Note 2 is quite a bit larger than the iPhone 5's 4-inch display and absolutely bigger than the 3.5-inch display of the iPhone 4S. The Galaxy Note 2 has a 5.5-inch diagonal Super AMOLED display, so it is over 1.5 inches bigger than the 4-inch display that comes on the iPhone 5. A great feature that the Galaxy Note has is that it comes with a stylus pen. You can see as you pull the pen out, it activates the notepad where you can handwrite lists, you can take screenshots and add notes to them, and then send them via text message or email to friends or family. You can also use the S Pen to navigate through the Galaxy Note, so if you want to flip screens or tap icons, you can absolutely do that. Another very popular smartphone right now is Samsung's Galaxy S3. Now the Galaxy S3 is available for all 4 major carriers, and it has a 4.8-inch diagonal Super AMOLED display. And one of my favorite features on the Galaxy S3 that you can't get on an iPhone is the photo share button. So once you link the phones together, you can take a picture, and it automatically comes to another phone through Wi-Fi Direct that you've linked to it. So I took the picture with the Galaxy S3, and because I've connected through Wi-Fi Direct, I was able to share the photo with the Galaxy Note. This is a great feature if you're at a family event like a wedding. You can take pictures and share with friends, and you don't have to worry about emailing or trying to pull them off Facebook. You have your own copy that you can upload and share, or make sure that you archive it so that you can keep it. Apple's iOS 6 has a similar feature called PhotoStream. While PhotoStream allows you to share pictures with others, you need to be connected to a Wi-Fi network in order to upload your photos to the PhotoStream. Where the ShareShot feature connects directly to another phone through Wi-Fi, not a Wi-Fi network. So if you're at a place where you don't know the Wi-Fi password, you can still share your photos with ShareShot. Let me move these two out of the way and I'll bring in the next one. We have the HTC Evo 4G LTE for Sprint. Now the Evo 4G LTE has a 4.7-inch diagonal display. My favorite design feature on the Evo 4G LTE is the all-aluminum kickstand that is on the back, so you can stand your phone up and watch video without having to try and find something to prop up your phone. Now the kickstand will hold it in landscape or in portrait mode, so that is a design feature for the Evo that you can't get on either one of the iPhones without adding an additional case and adding some bulk to get a kickstand. The next Android phone is the Galaxy Nexus for Sprint. Now the Galaxy Nexus is running a pure version of the Android operating system 4.1 or Jelly Bean, and it has a 4.65-inch Super AMOLED display. Now one of my favorite design features of the Galaxy Nexus is the fact that it has NFC technology built in, so you can use the Galaxy Nexus to tap at point of purchase at different stores, any store that accepts PayPass, and you can actually pay using your phone. It gets billed to a credit card that you've linked to your phone, and it makes it very convenient, especially if you happen to forget your wallet in the car or at home. Next up might be my favorite smartphone out right now, the Droid Razr M by Motorola. The Razr M is probably the closest to the iPhone 5 in physical size, but it does have an advantage. It has a 4.3-inch diagonal Super AMOLED display versus the 4-inch display of the iPhone 5. Another design feature I really like about the Razr M is the Kevlar back. Now, it helps keep it from getting scratched, as well as adding to the splash-resistant design of the Razr M. And the last Android smartphone I'll show you is the Samsung Galaxy S Relay 4G for T-Mobile. Now, as you can see, there's an obvious advantage to this phone. It has a full slide-out 5-row QWERTY keyboard on an Android phone. So if you're somebody that likes a real keyboard versus a virtual keyboard, the Galaxy S Relay 4G gives you another design advantage for Android phones versus iPhones. So with all the different design options and benefits that Android phones have over iPhones, I would say round 1 goes to Android phones. Let's go ahead and dig into round 2. Round 2 is going to be about operating system. Now in round 2 we're just going to compare the iPhone 5 with the Samsung Galaxy Nexus. The iPhone 5 is running Apple's iOS 6, where the Galaxy Nexus is running the latest version of Android right now, 4.1.1, or Jelly Bean. Let's take a look at Apple's iOS 6 first. Now you can see it's all based on apps. They're both based on apps. But there's a pretty big difference on what you can do with those apps on both phones, or how you can lay those apps out. With Apple's iOS 6, you would press and hold. You'll see them all start to kind of wiggle a little bit. And you can click on an app, and you can drag it around, you can move it around, you can move pages. But something to keep in mind is that I cannot drop the app down here at the bottom in a blank spot, so it's by itself. It's going to automatically get in line and be the next app in line. I can move it up farther if I don't want it to be right there, but there's never an option to leave it down at the bottom. Now you might want to take some of your favorite apps, or the apps that you use the most, and put them a little bit off on their own so that they're very easy to hit and access. Now with the Android operating system, you can press and hold those apps again. You can move them around on the screen. You can switch locations. But you can put them wherever you would like. So you can move them around, you can leave space. You can put it anywhere. You can see I have a widget right here for pictures. I can put applications right next to it. That's another benefit of the Android operating system when it comes to the operating system layout. You can have widgets. So like I said, this is a picture widget, so you can rotate through or scroll through the different pictures that you've taken with your phone without having to access the camera. There's also, right on my home screen, a Google Plus widget, so I can scroll through the different Google Plus posts without having to actually go in to the Google Plus app. Now the last aspect of the operating system we want to look at is multitasking, or the recent apps tray. To get there on the iPhone 5, you're going to double tap and it's going to pull up your recent application list. Now don't confuse this with multitasking. You can select these to go in, but iOS 6 doesn't truly multitask except on a couple applications. The new Maps for navigation, if you're downloading app updates, that will run in the background. And when you're listening to audio on the iPhone 5, that will also run in the background so that you can truly multitask. It will do that particular function, as well as let you go into other applications and surf the web. Now the Android operating system, this particular Galaxy Nexus has a one-touch button that will pull up your recent apps tray, and same thing, don't confuse this with multitasking, because not all of these things are running in the background. Now the Android operating system has a built-in task manager that will allow applications to run in the background until those resources are needed to run other applications. So let's a quick look at multitasking on these two phones. As you can see, there's not a lot of differences between the two operating systems, but they are big differences. With the iPhone, you're limited to the design style and placement of the applications that Apple allows. Where with the Android operating system, you can take your applications and widgets that you can't get with the iPhone 5 and place them anywhere you'd like on the operating system. So I would say round 2, the operating system round, goes to the Android smartphone. So let's recap real quick. Round 1 and round 2 went to the Android phone. So let's go ahead and dig into round 3 and see if the iPhone can get a win. Round 3 is going to be about Android's Google Play Store and Apple's App Store. When you think of app stores, you traditionally think that the iPhone has the most apps and the best apps. I will say that the iPhone still has the most amount of applications Right now, as of this video, it's sitting at about 700,000 applications in Apple's App Store. Now, out of those 700,000 applications, they've had over 30 billion downloads. That's a lot of downloads and that's a lot of apps. But Android's Google Play Store has 675,000 applications. That's only 25,000 applications less than Apple's App Store. And it had 25 billion downloads, so I'm sure if there's an app that you're looking for, you're going to be able to find it in either one of these two app stores. One benefit to the Android Google Play Store is it has more free applications than the App Store. But the App Store comes back with the fact that sometimes it gets the official application a little bit faster than the Google Play Store. A good example of this would be Pinterest. The official Pinterest app was available in the App Store in May of 2012, where the Android Google Play Store didn't get it until August of 2012. So getting those official apps earlier could be a benefit of having an iPhone. I do want to show you an example of the Google Play Store and the iPhone App Store. Let's do a quick search and we'll pull up, we'll just use weather. When you're looking at the search results from the different app stores, you'll notice that Apple's has a singular approach that shows you one application at a time. It gives you a quick preview and it gives you a rating as well as a price. Now with the Google Play Store, it'll give you the most popular. Same thing, it'll give you rating and price, but it'll also show you some different categories that have that same topic. So you go one place to get applications, movies, music, and books, where with the iPhone you have the App Store, you have iBooks, you have iTunes for movies and music, so there's multiple places to go to get those versus one singular place to go and get everything. Another thing I like about the App Store is when you click on just applications, it'll pull up a list view of the applications. Now it still gives you the name of the application, the rating, and if there's a price. Now it's a lot easier to scroll through and look for one that I'm looking for versus having to go through one at a time. Now I do like the preview, but if I'm interested in seeing a preview, I can go into the application and look at it and get that preview. So that's a look at the search experience that you get with the Google Play Store and the App Store. Now overall for the round 3, I'm going to go ahead and call it a draw. The amount of applications is so close, 25,000 applications when you're talking about 700,000 and 675,000 applications is very small. I like the search function of the Google Play Store over Apple's App Store. Just a reminder that a benefit you get with the iPhone is the fact that you sometimes get those official apps first. So with round 3 being a draw, that means our Android smartphones, with the win in round 1 and round 2, will be our overall winner today. And that wraps up our comparison review of Android phones versus iPhones. Thanks for watching.